One. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Khun podcast. I've talked about this a couple times in a couple videos. And here is more like the prototype. The full thing is going to be on a separate channel, but we're going to do like a couple videos on this channel just to like, I guess, build the audience and, get your guys' opinions on it. So what I would love to tackle, I said it in other videos before, but I definitely want to tackle the bridge that separates like the normies from like the VTube sphere and the VTube community, and have like a easier way to not only get into like the genre that is VTubing, but to try and understand like the way it works, the behaviors, the community, right? So several things in the community, like going from VTube to IRL is like a big thing that's happening. And of course, people aren't going to like it because you go from a subgenre to like spinning off into your own thing. But like these are definitely important conversations to have, and this is why I'm hosting it. It's going to be open for other people as well. So right now I have two wonderful co-guests with me. I have Masashi and Chaotic. You guys introduce yourself, please.
Go ahead, Masashi.
Hey, hello. I am hello. I am Masashi Fukatsu. I am a VTuber. I've been a VTuber for almost 4 years, and I've been watching VTubers ever since like 2017. First VTuber that I watched was Kizuna Ai.
OG.
So, yeah. So yeah. I've been around for a while.
100%. And then Chaotic.
I am Chaotic Flow. I have experience at least in the corporate side of the VTubing industry, more so entertainment industry, but more recently VTuber industry. I've been surrounded by VTubing for the past 2 years, I believe now.
Yeah, something like that.
Introduced by Hololive, found it to be an incredibly interesting genre. And so kind of here I am just now.
Yep. So we have Masashi. He's been in the VTubing sphere way longer than me and Chaotic, right? Me and Chaotic got in around the same time, about 2 years ago. I started with Niji Sanji doing react. Oh, actually, very first VTuber I ever reacted to was Neurosama, because a lot of people forget Neurosama is a VTuber, but that is exactly what they are, VTuber. So I started with Neurosama, and then I got into Niji Sanji, and there's a big difference between like the corporate side of VTubing and the more independent side. So I think this is also why I have my awesome co-host here, because Chaotic deals with like the corporate. So corporate involving like, of course, the more business side. And then you have Masashi, who is indie VTuber himself. So he can give more perspective on the indie side. So we have, and of course we have me, who's watched and observed both and have seen both change. So first off, before we even jump into like the harsh and the tough topics, we got to go through the actual origins of like, what is VTubing? So take it away, Masashi. We're going to start with 2020.
Oof. 2020, the boom of English VTubing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I remember it's sort of personal. Like, before knowing about the English VTubing, I used to only watch Japanese VTubers. I didn't even know that there was a thing for like there were English VTubers, but I discovered a couple English VTubers, and I was like, oh, there's English. And then we got what now is like Whole Life English, like Whole Life Myth. Would be Gargura, Mabilia, Ina, Callie, and did I miss someone?
Yeah. So basically, what Masashi, these names, because remember, this is also for normies. So these are like the names of the first generation of people that did English VTubing in a corporation, which is Hololive, the biggest VTubing corporation currently, and for the foreseeable future, because they have a lot of good business strategies. If anything, bro, Hololive should be paying me for this, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways.
I
So,
mean,
with the explosion of English VTubers, of course, more people are going to notice because English is like the most popular language in the world. So, going from Japanese only, right? The Japanese culture and the idol culture was the biggest thing when it came to VTubers, especially like still the idleness exists still, but idol culture, I think, is slowly I guess you could say dying off. Of course, there's still going to be people that love the idol aspect, but because EN is so popular and the corporation is pushing for more EN representation and just exposure, it would make more sense that they slowly start changing the idol mindset a bit. Chaotic can give definitely more input on this though. So go ahead, tag in Chaotic. Let's go.
So you mean the progress of idol culture?
Yeah, the progress of idol culture, like when it comes to corporate VTubing.
Right. So when, for example, if we're going back to 2020, just based off Hololive English myth, if you go back to that date and just observe to the present day, you could clearly see a difference in the decrease of what would be known as the idol culture, which would be just like, obviously one aspect would be like lewd comments, crude comments, swearing,
Yes,
drinking, whatever,
mm-hmm.
you know, all these different types
degeneracy.
Yes, degeneracy. And back then, back in 2020 or even before, these would just be looked upon as, you know, generally bad things that you could even, you know, get in trouble for. Nowadays, it's very different. These are things that aren't even looked at as bad anymore.
Yes,
it's become more commonplace, which I think is a fantastic thing, because as much as people love idol culture, it's only something that has a very short ceiling. You know?
Yes. You're only going to get I was going to say you're only going to get those people that are really into the like super parasocial aspect when it comes to VTubing, because the idol, right? The idol culture, they're supposed to be only for their fans.
Yeah.
Right. For example, Hololive would not be even close to their current popularity if they had only stuck to pure idol culture.
True.
So many of the fans currently are fans because of the idol culture being died down now. I've seen like many different interviews or YouTube videos of just random people just watching Hololive for the first time, and you know, being entertained by the fact that, you know, these just random anime girls are just saying like stupid lewd jokes, you know. And had that not been the case, Hololive's popularity wouldn't be nearly as close as to where it is now.
I agree. I think they're embracing more of like just internet culture in general, which is exactly the reason why we have, you know, this podcast, this series, because, you know, the sub genre or subculture that is VTubing is absolutely experiencing a boom. And, you know, for better or for worse, you know, if anything, we should just try and make it easier for people to navigate what they're getting themselves into, because there are people that have been in this culture for, like Masashi himself, he's been here since 2017, right? So of course, the more popular something gets, the more people that get into it, the less they're going to know about the origins or even the unwritten rules or unspoken rules or the just background knowledge. So this is why we're here to try and also elaborate and explain these things to you guys, so it's easier. For one, the people that's already been here, it makes it respectful and easier for them to accept the newer fans that are going to come in, right? If people come in and they don't really know about all the respectful things or the idol culture, they might go into the wrong stream or go in, because it's one thing to watch clips. It's different to go into their stream and do or type or act a certain way. So this is like the more easier avenue for everything to be explained for you guys. So also speaking of um, the idol culture, right, and it's changing and it's dying. We're also seeing more of a surgence in the IRL, right? So people going from VTube to IRL. That's mostly in the indie scene. So we're also going to cover the indie scene as well. But before we get to the indie scene, let's continue a little bit more with the corporate side. Masashi or Chaotic, if either one of you guys want to take over.
I mean, regarding like the idol culture, I mean the gacha coins or unicorns, however you want to call them, are still gonna exist regardless. But obviously, there's gonna be like it's gonna be less amount of people that are like the unicorns, right? Like all the obsessed with. So
and so
like,
the people that don't know a unicorn is basically the people that are in love with the idol culture, the parasocialism, like the deep roots of my Oshi is my wife, essentially, even though they've never met, right? So those are the unicorns. Continue, Masashi.
And obviously like VTubers like I can put an example of do you have the screenshot on me or
It's on your screen right now. Okay. So we see Corona.
So there is an example of Corona that somebody sent a super chat saying like, "Oh, I am so sorry, I'm so late. I was watching the other girl's stream," and that was like, and she was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
She was hunting this guy like for 5 minutes. It was quite because the reason why they do that is like the person like the parasocialism and stuff, right?
Yeah, parasocialism.
Yep. What the girls do is like, hey, why are you watching another girl and not watching me? You know. So that's why it's like they enter into a you would say yandere kind of phase in the moment, like a yandere moment.
Yeah, so they're playing into the idol culture as well, right? Why are you watching another girl stream? It's supposed to be me and you, right? Making the donator feel as if like, oh, you know, to some people they don't take like jokes or whatever, but also it could be read as seriously. So it's definitely, you know, the bread and butter as well of like the idols to say, oh, you know, you're watching other streamers, you should be watching me, right? That is essentially the thing that I think though what I see, especially when it comes to supers as well, right? So when did that super happen? How long ago was this? Because this sounds like an early super.
Yeah, that was in a sort of an early super. If I remember correctly, let me try to look for the clip.
Well, because yeah, while you're looking for the clip, I'll go ahead and just well, I'll explain more. Like when it comes to like supers as well. So supers are donations. So when people donate a certain amount of money, their message gets read onto the screen, and then the streamer interacts with the message. And of course, the more money the super is, like the color changes. So like a Aka super would be called a red super. So that's like $100 or more would be a red super. So whenever he's saying super, he's talking about like a donation.
Yeah, I found the clip.
Okay.
I found the clip. Let me move the because it was a really funny one. So,
okay.
There it is.
ごめん、ゴーさん。他の
Can
女
you go
の
full
とこ
screen,
ろ
please?
行ってたせいで見逃した。
Oh, fast forward to the super.
Oh no, she read it.
見逃した。
Oh, I missed your
ゴー
stream.
さん、
Okay.
他の女のところ行ってたせいで見逃した。
Mm.
And she's like, excuse me?
Someone in the chat said stop speaking Spanish.
Come to Brazil.
But yeah.
Long John Silver's. All right.
パパにドア。
She's locked in.
パパにドア。
Wait, so
パパにドアさんの登録チャンネル。ルシアちゃんかな。
so Rushi is another
ホ
another
ロライ
idol
ブ
at the
の
time.
予定表を見て、同じ時間に配信
She's on the hunt.
他の女で。
Mm.
そうだね、ルシアちゃんかな。本当はロボコさんとね、配信してたのかな。で、この人がルシアちゃんを登録してるということは、ルシアちゃんを見に行ったということで、多分そういうことになるでな。でも全然怒ってない。ルシアちゃんの配信全然見ていいんだよ。全然見ていいんだよ。いい、全然本当に。全然気にしないよ。パッパにドアさん全然気にしないよ。大丈夫。平気だよ。ありがとうね。でも来てくれて、最後の最後にはさ、見てくれてありがとうね。全然気にしてない。ありがとう。ありがとうね。
The I don't mind is the biggest lie ever. especially because she repeated it so much.
I feel like
Okay.
with these types of situations, each one is unique because for
Pause it real quick. Masashi.
どういう
for a lot of these VTubers,
ことでだよ。目がふわってなってる。待
the
って。
parasocialism obviously goes both ways.
Yes.
Now that she's talking about Rusia would be a prime example of
パ
that.
ッパにドアさん。
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
You have Corona here who's joking about it, right?
yeah.
And the viewer some viewers who might be taking it seriously. On the other hand, you have Rusia who also takes it seriously, along
Yes.
with the viewer.
Yes. So of course there's there's different streamers even in the same company.
This is the one.
No longer in the company, of course, but
Yeah.
it's due to that.
Mhm.
You're,
The-
like, over
parasocialism.
seriousness in this, yes.
Yeah. So for a lot of people, this is also like, I mean, of course, anything can be, dangerous if taken too far, too seriously. But yeah, parasocialism is definitely super huge when it comes to like, especially more of the corporate side of VTubing. For indie, like it definitely can be way worse. Especially like if it's an unknown streamer, like who knows what's going on. But for corporate wise, because there's so many people, they of course bank off parasocialism, but yeah, it can be taken too far. But since it's been shown off in like the corporate, of course it's going to succeed, right? Like the ASMR, in Niji and in Hollow, right? These things are very big and very popular. They get the viewer, of course, excited. It's like, oh, it's more personal, more connected. So there is definitely something to worry about when it comes to like over watching VTubers, because it's so easy to slip into it. At one point in time, falling into the VTuber rabbit hole, it's like that's a legitimate thing. You could just fall in, and it's super easy because the characters are nice. The product is amazing, especially when you talk about like a corporate, right? Hololive, they focus, even though the idol culture is changing, they still focus on being idol. So singing is big. The merchandise, when it comes to selling the product as if it was like some type of treasured item, right? Like the acrylic stands, like, oh, you can look at them, they're acrylic, they're beautiful, and like create your own little world around it. It definitely, and for boys as well, right? They have it for boys as well. So that it can go for parasocial women to parasocial men. either way, regardless. So it's definitely something you got to be careful for whenever you're trying to get into VTubers. I give this like warning to everybody. Free food for thought.
Yeah, especially in the corporate side of things. As we all know, one of the, I think even bigger than Russia was the, I think Idol Corp's Rero Ron.
Yeah.
If anyone
Yeah.
remembers who that is or
Yeah.
doesn't know
Yeah.
who that is, previous member of Idol Corp who got terminated for having relations with a fan.
Yes. So sometimes it can get taken to the such extreme where they're no longer just online doing this. They go into the IRL, the real world. And there's also like real world consequences for these types of things. But in general, there's of course consequences just being a fan. Like the merchandise is not cheap. So yeah, you got to be careful when it comes to a lot of personal things, but even for the streamers themselves, they can get sucked into the parasocial world. And sometimes it's hard to figure out, what's the character and what's you. Because at the end of the day, all of these characters or idols or whatever, they're still real people, right? They're still humans creating this content. And sometimes, they can have an issue where it's, what part is Usada Pekara and what part is the person behind it. So it's definitely parasocial on both ends. It's not just like from the fan perspective.
Oh yeah, I think, well, at least over the years, it's when it comes to these characters and the people behind them, at least from what I've seen, it's become more real. If anything, it's no longer just about like this character's lore and sticking to their lore.
100%.
It's about the person behind them, their struggles, what they're like, how they actually feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all smiles.
Yes, there's definitely very personal, history, very personal stories. And especially when it comes to like the VTube, why I think VTube is so special is because of the character aspect, right? You can role play into a character, but at some point, you stop role playing. It just becomes either you become the character or the character becomes you. It's one or the other. And both can be very tricky to try and maneuver on like a personal level. Go ahead. You can step in.
I think it's two reasons, right? I think it's two reasons why people find the appeal. One is like, I can relate this you can relate the same thing towards anime. It's like,
True.
there's no longer these limitations that comes with like IRL things. Just like how like you introduce like IRL TV shows and put it side by side to anime. You could do like an infinite amount of things with these animations.
Yeah.
In the same line, you could do an infinite amount of things with these characters.
Yes.
The second thing is that it's not there's actual people behind this. It's not like a fake made up character that was written on a piece of paper, just like in anime. It's
the only thing
people
written is the only thing written. Yeah, the only thing written is the lore. Everything else is gonna be the person that's basically piloting the character model.
Yeah, and I think those are the two biggest appeals when it comes to VTubing.
I agree.
Yeah, the thing about like going IRL and stuff, like for example, like Kuro.
So now we're hold on real quick. So now we're about to just spin off into VTubers to IRL. I gotta let this know for the normies. So go ahead and Masashi, say your piece.
So for example, Kuro.
K9 Kuro, can you pull them up?
Yeah, let me. There you are. Okay, so Kuro, he was another VTuber from another corporate. And he for a while he mentioned that he wanted to do more IRL stuff, like going to conventions, doing panels, doing meet and greets and stuff like that. So he started to go IRL, like doing like vlogs, like which is cool.
Yeah, can you pull those up as well?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
so the people can get understanding. So yeah, what Masashi's talking about when he's bringing up K9 Kuro. So before K9 Kuro, there was another character, right? And this is when we were talking about, what's the character and what's the real person, right? So whenever a VTuber basically retires, they graduate. So a graduation is basically the death of the character. But of course, the person behind it, they go off to do something else. Sometimes it's VTuber related and sometimes it's not. But K9 Kuro is somebody who's voiced wanting to do more with his community in a IRL level, yet he still is a VTuber. And he's deciding recently, like if you scroll back, like right now at the bottom, it's just the model. But when you scroll up, you can actually see the man behind what is K9 Kuro. And this is currently what I would say like the big issue or biggest issue in the community right now is like people moving into doing more IRL, even though, the unicorns, they're not going to like it. Anybody else that likes the character, not for the character's sake, but for the person behind it, they also might have an issue with this because they also still enjoy the character. That being said, there are going to be people who not only like the character K9 Kuro, but like the guy behind it. So they're willing to also watch his vlogs. That also creates a disconnect in the community because what's the point of being in the VTube community if it's no longer about the VTube? At least that's the argument that I'm hearing. You guys let me know if the argument is different.
Yeah, like at least for like what is going IRL as a VTuber, it's like the for unicorns, it's like my immersion has been broken. I cannot believe it.
But at the same time, that's true, right? The immersion is being broken.
Yep. So like I respect like if they want to be in that immersion, that is cool. That is their taste, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of these unicorns or parasocial people is that they go to the extremes of sending hate because hey, why you show your face, or sending threats and stuff.
Yeah. They're taking it too far. They're taking it to the extent where they're wanting to resolve whatever issue they have with some type of threat of violence, which is never the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
So now that we're in the K9 Kuro territory, I think this is an easy way to segue because what we were talking about earlier is HoloLive. That is like the most corporate of the corporate, right? Now we have VShojo that's also a corporate, but basically their VTubers are more on I guess I would call it a sponsorship. What would you guys call it? Because it doesn't feel like a corporation in the like suit and tie sense.
Well, considering what's going on with current VShojo, like I don't know if they plan to go now full corpo with the next batch of VTubers, but before that, I feel like it's like a sponsorship or not sponsorship. Yeah, I would say sponsorship. I think. I don't know.
What about you, Chaotic?
What was the question?
Would you consider VShojo more corporate, a sponsorship, or anything else in between?
I think they're a hands-off corporation.
Okay.
Obviously, each and every one of them that's in VShojo are on a contract.
Yes, true. They are on a contract.
They would be inside that corporation. Obviously, it's very much more hands-off, which is why like you don't really hear much of VShojo's like ventures because they've always been a hand-off corporation. More
of a streamer first mentality, I would say. Like let the streamer do as they please.
It's I mean, it's just it's just all like streamer activities. It's nothing really about idol culture. You
Yes.
might
Yeah,
see
scroll
like
down a bit.
Iron Mouse or like one of the other VTubers doing like a concert every virtual concert every once in a while
Mhm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But besides that, you don't have really much anything else besides obviously their streaming content. They're reacting to videos or just playing random games, whatever. It's simple things basically.
Yeah. I agree. So
But they are moving more into corporate. I do
okay.
believe that they are trying to move more into corporate because now that sorry to take it back just one step.
It's all
Now
good.
that you see Hololive moving more towards mainstream,
Uh
as I heard someone say it,
go back to
Hololive
Hololive,
is
Masashi.
What
basically
that?
walking.
Go to Hololive.
Hololive is basically walking
like on
so
YouTube
that
Yeah,
or
just so people can have a visual representation.
yes, all
okay.
of the talents, whatnot. Um, but as I heard someone say, that Hololive is basically the agency that is just walking so that the rest of them can run. If you know what I mean.
That's big. But I also would agree to that, but I think it's going to be tougher for more of the other companies. I would say just because like the Hololive has the idol culture, and as we all know, like the people that are the most parasocial, they give the most money because that is how it works. So for them to of course have like the LA the merchandise with the LA
And,
Dodgers and to
and
have
like
all
I
these other
mentioned,
collabs, right? Yes, thank
I
you for the visual
was
representation.
like, bro, I was thinking about the Dodgers thing, and you
Uh,
literally mentioned it, like, bro.
yeah, the
So
visual,
yeah,
yeah,
it's the most recent, most biggest collab, at
definitely
least
by far,
for this year.
by far, because
Obviously,
this
they've
is
collabed with like other baseball teams or like whatever else, but at least for now, this is a lot
100%.
more on the mainstream side
100%.
because it's over here. It's in LA. It's not Japan.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
And I was
Eh,
in this event, and it was really cool. Like, I don't really watch baseball,
uh,
like, but um, I do enjoy VTubers. I do enjoy whole life. So I was like, hey, why not going, right? And I know some people, like a lot of people, probably most of the people, went there to get the whole life merch instead of watching the game and stuff. I know it's understandable, but at the very least, myself, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get some merch, so I just went to enjoy the game and watch the troll show, right? So
yeah, that's
uh,
big, and that's absolutely huge, right? That's them tapping into a market of people on both ends, right? So the Dodgers got a seat from not just Masashi, but a lot. Like there's a whole vlog about it. Check it out right here. Shameless plug. Check out the video I did, or just pull up my video. Either one is fine with me, but the event was streamed, of course, to a lot of people, but in person there was way more people than expected, which shows that of course, there's a lot of Hololive fans, but the connection between the Hololive company and the fan base is absolutely huge, right? They love the product so much that they're going out to events that they otherwise wouldn't do, right? For other companies to try and replicate that, I don't even know if that's a thing, right? I don't know how the shoujo could get that many people, or at least people
I
to
think
go to an
it
event
is a
like that.
thing.
You
As
think
long
so?
as they have the initiative, as long as they have the motive, they can. When I
Uh,
say about the quote that Hololive's walking so everyone else can run,
mm,
it's literally just Hololive opening this specific gate to mainstream, so
there
other
is
agencies can work their way, be right behind them.
okay, I get
Now
what you're saying.
make it more aware, basically, to the rest of the world of the
Mm,
VTubing culture,
yeah.
so that if another company, even if they're a bit smaller than Hololive, want to yes, it was Shy Lily who said it. Thank you.
yeah.
Um,
I'm, so where is I know I saw the
but yeah,
clip.
they're basically just opening the gates
You're sure right. You're absolutely right.
Many other mainstream companies will be more
I'm-
open.
I'm trying to find the whole life stuff, and all I see is all Japan stuff.
I think it's scroll down a little. Is it that one, the Dodgers one?
Oh,
Is it that one?
okay. This is the one.
Okay. Yeah,
I
let's check
forget
this
if
out.
she says it, if she said it in this clip or not, or if she just reacted.
Go to the spikes, Masashi.
Pull the tweet. It's so
Also,
cool.
this is an indie
Apparently,
VTuber.
Hololive had
Yep.
a collab, a sports event collab, and Gura was singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at the Dodgers game,
Yeah.
a baseball game.
That's
This
big.
is so cool.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's big.
And basically, she made the stadium sing along, which is crazy.
Yeah, to have this many people sing out loud at the same time. That's big.
Even probably old school baseball fans probably were like, oh yeah, let's sing along. Probably.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, they're singing because there's VTube culture. There's also baseball culture, right? Yeah. So the baseball culture definitely got in tune when they were doing something baseball culture related.
People as just average VTuber watchers understand how big this is for the industry, because obviously we have some pretty big people in the streaming space. Nomi, Bao, Shoto, a bunch of my friends, Cotton, me. Outside the VTubing space, we don't have much exposure because VTubing is still very niche. It's still very niche, obviously.
It is.
Compared to the potential that Flash tubers have, it's so niche still. There is still a lot to be done to break into the mainstream media and consumption of the general community that is just content consumption. Things like these are they're so good and needed and healthy for the growth of the VTubing community as a whole, because who the else except Hololive could have done this? Hololive
exactly true.
W's, bro. They do so much for the VTubing scene. You have no idea. This has probably reached so many more millions than many of us will ever reach in a lifetime. It's so hard to do this kind of stuff as an indie. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying only Corpa can do this. But as an indie, you need to be extremely filthy rich and successful to the point where, do you even care about this kind of stuff? If you're that rich,
that's true.
Do you care?
That's exactly true.
Any of this?
That's true. That's
For your
true.
community, someone at Hololive really just went what if we expand more? And once again, there are so many millions of people that are going to see this and have seen this that are now what the is VTubing?
Yago is the CEO of Hololive, by the way, for people that don't know.
Gates for people like me that would have never ever been opened ever for us. Thanks to Hololive. Yeah, they're paving the way for the general public, man. Hololive is walking so we can run. It's crazy. But serious.
But I'm wondering, right? So this is me asking you guys, right, Masashi and Chaotic, right? Because this podcast, we're also talking to each other, right? How much fallout would you say would go to other companies or indies? Because Hololive was successful, but that doesn't mean everybody else would be if they tried to attempt the same thing.
Yeah. It's about. I feel like it's more about the commitment, right?
The commitment.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it would get them the door to have the conversation. I guess that would be the big thing. That's a big thing, having the conversation.
If you don't try, it's you're just stuck in the niche. You have to. You have to do it.
Yeah, this is why
that's true.
This is why Yago was. It's hey, I want to expand, and this is how we got now Cover Corp USA, right?
Yes, yes,
right
Cover Corp USA is big.
Right now it's mostly merch stuff probably, and some other stuff in behind the scenes and stuff, but I don't know if there is some more information publicly about what Cover Corp USA is, but yeah, I don't know if you Chaotic have know
I think
something.
the best assumptions would be one for merchandise shipping.
Yes, that's big
And
because they have a foot there.
two would be having more accessibility to studio related projects for Ian talent.
That's also true.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a
Those
base of
two would be good
operations.
assumptions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, base of operations is always big when it comes to anything. So yeah, them being in America, that's absolutely huge, and it makes it makes it easier for their EN talent to succeed. And when the EN talent succeeds, the whole company succeeds. That's good.
What it would be.
There's always the risk though with exceeding success with these corporations.
Expanding too fast. That could rub the community wrong way, which is why we still have this, why we're doing the pod.
There was a lot of I can't say a lot, but this is something I did see. There are some conversations I did see online regarding different investors that are now investing into Cover Corp. That they're worried that they might take over, they might overthrow what Hololive stands for, essentially. Why the fans love Hololive.
Yes, that's oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Masashi, go for it.
What I think is worrying a lot of people is there are some investors that we know about now that are taking interest in Cover Corp, right? The biggest example is what is it, BlackRock, I think.
BlackRock, yes.
Yeah, BlackRock, and people are worried, right? And I guess it's understandable, but we don't know what is their intentions, right?
Well, I mean, obviously their intentions will be to make more money, right? But to make more money, you're either going to lose the quality of the product, or it's going to that's actually the only thing I could see. Like they want to push out more merch, and so they make it cheap, or they want more streams, so they work the streamer to the bone, right? That is also the issue when it comes to having a big investor that's only investing to make money back versus investors that invest because they want to make the product better.
Yeah. My personal opinion for this is that I don't, as of now, it's not a big deal whatsoever, because as long as the key characters, the key figures of Cover Corp keep their shares, stand their ground, nothing really will change. Obviously, over the years for Hololive, and there's been conversations about it, but about their adding more rules and regulations, and people complaining about it. But I feel like those are all truly necessary if you're going to be trying to expand and grow your company. Because not only do you have to protect your company, you have to protect the people inside of it.
Yes, exactly. That's how the company runs.
The only way you can do that is through rules and regulations. A lot of people conspiracizing about the most recent graduation upcoming, Minato Aqua.
Yeah.
We're speculating that the reason behind her choosing to graduate are these rules and regulations.
Yeah, like the direction that they are going to is not something she is agreeing to, right? So,
wait. So are these conspiracies, or is this like grounded in some type of?
No, this is what she mentioned. Yeah, she mentioned that the direction that the company is going is not something that she's looking for. So she wants to get out to be able to do the stuff that she wants to do. She wants to do more, but the company is going to another direction.
Yeah. So and that's a big thing, right? are there going to be more of the talents that, of course, the more that things change, the more people are going to say, oh, I miss the old stuff. And that includes the people that work there. So,
And I mean, Aqua is pretty.
She's a fan favorite.
She's a fan favorite, and she's not like. Well, she's kind of an OG.
She's definitely an OG.
Yeah. So like, second generation, she's been there for 5 years, if I remember correctly.
That's a long time.
2018. That's almost it's almost 6 years, right?
Yeah,
that's a long time.
That would be I think 6 years.
6 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, so 6 years she's been with the company, and she says that the way that the company is moving, she doesn't want any more part of it. And that's a big. I'd say that's a big red flag, but at the same time, expansion is important, right?
Right.
So
I think it's just like there's no avoiding it. You can call it a red flag, but there's simply no avoiding it. There's no step you can take to avoid it.
That's also true.
If you don't have these rules and regulations, two things can happen: the talent will get hurt, the company will get hurt.
Yep.
So I think it's fine. I truly do. Obviously, it's very sad that she's graduating due to this. Obviously, we've also had like small complaints about other talents about getting game permissions and whatnot, and all that sorts of things. But I think at the end of the day, it's fine. It's sad that some talent will eventually end up leading. More talent 100%. Will continue to come in.
Speaking of game perks, okay, so this is coming from someone that is not corpo, because I'm indie. I don't get the perm stuff. I know it's a Japan thing, or I don't know if it's just a Japan thing.
Well, I mean, it's big if you get the permission to play a game early, right? I was in the gaming industry for quite a time. Like, if you get the game early, well, for them, they're advertising the game. But for anybody else, that's also free content. Well, that's free content for them as well, because they get the game early. More people are going to see them because they have the game early. And on top of that, they're going to be promoting the game. So it is a win-win for everybody involved, besides people that do not get game perms. And I think that's a totally different conversation. But I would gladly have it on another episode. So another podcast, we could definitely talk about game perms and what's fair and what's equal. But right now we're just going to talk about like what's going on in the culture and what's changing. But I like you bringing it up, Masashi. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. Because I don't really understand, but we can talk about another episode. Yes.
So when we're talking about the talents wanting to leave or wanting to change because of rules, right? The more they expand, I feel like they're going to have to make some more rules, because everything is subject to change, right? So in the video that I made about the actual HoloLive expansion, check out that video. I'm probably not going to put the iCard because this video is so long, but if I do, there it is. But basically, I lost the expansion, right? So when they're expanding, the goal is to get more people, right? That is the point of expanding. They're going to change. And eventually the product is not going to be for you anymore. That being said, that doesn't mean VTubing. That's going to be like the end of you watching VTubers. But I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on, them actually, like, more people will eventually leave, and it's not always because, expansion, right? People, 5 years at one company, that is a long time, right? Can we agree that 5 years at one spot is a long time?
No, it is a long time. And it's not to say that those rules and regulation were the sole reason for her leaving. Obviously, it was a big reason, but it's obviously... she spent quite a lot of time there. She's, witnessed the every bit of change firsthand. Yeah, she's been there. And, spent the past 6 years of her life doing the same thing. But, props to her.
Yeah, it's big.
But yeah, It's just an inevitability that for these talents to end up leaving at some point.
Mm, yes, but
Obviously,
I'm.
people take this one to heart. Obviously, not only because it's a very popular VTuber, Aqua,
Mm,
fan favorite, whatnot, but it's because it's Hololive, which people associate with being the best VTuber company, and it's always in the conversation of comparison to other companies. For example, Niji Sanji, who has like graduating talents every month or whatnot.
mm, mm, for
So it hits
workplace
them
incident.
harder when it's Hololive because it never happens,
Yeah,
and now all of a sudden it happens.
yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
It's a big change. It's a big shakeup. Um, Also, when we're talking about things changing, right, and we're talking about the product that is VTubing, um,
The
what
other example about
uh
changing and stuff is the idol break group thing.
uh
That break group is acquired idol corp, and some of the VTubers decided to not continue with I with
with the
idol.
contract?
Yeah,
Uh,
for the contract, they decided to go indie. What the cool thing about this particular
this company, Idol.
this company is that um, Idol said, "Hey, you can keep the IP, but the interesting thing is the terms of acquiring keeping their IP
That's
um,
big.
is to basically pay the company for the IP for a
Uh,
year. Like it's gonna be like um
They
like
receive a percentage of whatever they make using that model for the
for the
period of
next
the
yeah
year. Well, yeah, that's absolutely something I could see, and I would hope more companies actually implement. Right? If Aqua wanted to go do, well, damn, never mind. Okay, well, so this is the way I see it, right? If more people were to do that, I think that would be good. It's good on a business level. Obviously, it's like, okay, you're released from your contract, you can keep the character, right? We already talked about in the video what's the character and what's the person behind it. Well, if the character and the same person are both leaving the same corporation, at that point, it doesn't really matter. And if that person does become more famous or more popular using the character, the original companies still get a kickback. Like they do this in real life sports, right? They'll trade a player to another team, and they'll be like, oh, whatever, however much he gets in his next deal, whenever he gets better, if he gets better, we get an original cut because we had them first, right? I definitely would love to see more of this happen for the normie side, right? The normie side of VTubing, it's good because even though the character is leaving the corporation, you still have the original person that's making the content. But on
yeah
the in the opposite spectrum will be like the idol corporation or the idol culture, right? The unicorns. That would absolutely suck to see, your Oshi, right? Someone that you think you love, go to another place and do whatever it is that they're doing.
yeah
So I could definitely see it being an issue when it comes to like the VTube as a concept, because we already talked about earlier, right? VTubers going to the IRL. So imagine somebody leaving HoloLive with their model and then deciding, hey, I'm going to do IRL with the model, breaking the immersion even more. You know, it could
Well,
be a
there's
slippery
multiple
slope.
things.
Yeah.
There's multiple things. Obviously, Hololive is one of the companies that won't allow such a thing.
Yes.
That won't allow you to
For
take your
now, as long as
IP.
they don't expand and, you know,
But it's just about like not only what you said about the transition from VTuber to IRL, that possibility, because I mean we've already seen that we've seen this happen with the termination of Yozura Mel, who was
yeah
I totally forgot.
she's also doing
Yeah, what happened?
she's also doing IRL content now on
Okay.
her private like VTube esque account, whatever,
Uh,
her personal account.
Mhm.
So that is already there. That's what you said already happened.
Okay. Wow.
But
So that's absolutely
if
big.
the IP was allowed, she would be using the Yosuda Mel IP doing
Mhm.
IRL content.
Mhm. Damn.
Oh, I knew about like some of the stuff of Mel, but I didn't know exactly about the IRL thing.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't know
huge.
about the IR. That is absolutely huge. So what ripples have that had, if any, in the VTube community?
There hasn't been specifically, obviously, because it's her private account.
Mhm. But if it was to go public,
If it was the Yosuda Mel account, there would be ripples.
okay.
But that's why I feel like it's a smart idea, for at least for as companies as big as Hololive, not to just give away IPs, because
Yeah.
not only because of that, because it would cause ripples for them, in the aftermath, but in general, you would say Yosuda Mel got her IP, and takes away a portion of the fan base. That would in turn harm the company, because it's like you get to keep the IP, but you're also taking away a part of our community here.
Yes, but that's also an interesting point when it comes to the community, right? Like, so who's watching Mel? The OGs, right? But if the company is expanding, especially like to broader audiences, there's going to be a sway in the community, wouldn't you say? Like the people that are new and they're not familiar with, let's just say maybe they don't even know Hololive, really does Japanese stuff because they're so prominent in the English. Like this would change a lot of the VTube culture.
Yeah. So the other about the IP thing is also the Nasuna, for example. That I don't know the terms of keeping her IP, because we at this point we all know Mika Neko and all the jazz stuff.
Remember, there's normies. So the Mike Neko, I forgot what happened. What happened to Mike Neko? A quick rundown.
Honestly, we don't need to get into it because it's too much.
Yeah.
It's
too much.
So no, I mean, like, is it bad? So obviously, it sounds bad. So a bad situation happened. Okay, we can continue.
Yeah. Like Mika Neko topic would be basically like a whole episode.
Okay, cool. We'll save it for another episode then.
Right.
It's
sounds good to me. Sure, sounds good. Let's go. Hit the like button. Hey, if you're still watching, we're 57 minutes in. Hey, hit the like button and leave a timestamp.
I feel like companies like Brave Group, Idol Corp, and VShojo, all of these smaller companies are able to just freely give the IP to the talent because of the fact that they're small. There won't be really any backlash to the company because of the fact that they're small. They're like, if you go, people people think VShojo is a big company. In reality, it's not. If we even just in 2023, last year, VShojo only represents like 3% of views.
Okay.
In terms of agencies.
Okay.
But the reason
that's understandable.
Give IPs away is because of that.
Yeah, they don't have the and this is where we're talking about culture, right? The V2 culture, the normies versus the unicorns, right? When it comes to VShojo, it's definitely going to be more normie centric. And when I say normie, I'm not talking like a literal normie. It's more like on the left, we have unicorns, on the right, we have normie. So VShojo would be around more normie because they focus on streaming games, gameplay. That is their big thing versus Hololive, which is more idol because idol culture, right? They're singing, they're dancing, they have big events. And yeah, VShojo has events as well, but they're definitely more skewed towards normie. So they can definitely give away the IP because it's not going to have that huge ripple. Not only because, like, of course, they have a 3% when it comes to like video views or sales or whatever the statistic is. They're more centered on just being normal people. Like the people behind the VShojo characters, people won't, have an issue with if they go into like the 3D or if they change that much or if they do anything different. Of course, there's going to be issues a bit, but versus if it was, Superstar, Hololive, or Niji or whatever, it's going to be a lot different. So yeah, I think them selling their IPs, 100%, I agree. It's not that big a deal. And I had to do that big ass tangent for the normies. You're welcome, normies.
Word.
I'm a translator.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of is, just that simple. It's just like the difference in size and popularity and views is what causes that difference, because VShojo being the 3%, Hololive being the 27%.
Do they have the biggest percentage with that 27?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. It makes me oh yeah, go ahead, Sasha, go for it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of like the expansion and stuff, that there's also this like I don't know if you heard about it. Like there's this.
No, what's this?
Project.
Enigmatic recollection.
Yeah, it's for like whole life EN.
So it's EN focused. That's big.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really, really big project, as far as I can see, because it involves the whole branch.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I think what's gonna be, this is my feel.
Okay, let me hear it.
This is probably gonna be either something related to like a light novel or something, or like light novel, or because of the visuals.
It has to be a movie.
Like could be, but
bro, that looks like a movie, right? We're talking about expanding in EN. Going to the box office. What's more American than going to the movie theater?
I mean,
baseball, and they already did that.
I mean, it does look like it could be like a movie or anime kind of thing.
It definitely. I think it would be more financial to. Chaotic, you're the one that's good with numbers. Would you say it would be better to bank off a one-time movie and then maybe get some series in, or do something more online, like what was it, a Shinden? Is that what it is? Where it's like just a one-off episode online only?
I think it's better to do online first, then see the performance of it and slowly work up from there.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is,
For example, the hologram is the best example.
Hologram.
They make their own tiny.
Oh yeah. Oh, can you bring up hologram
and then build up?
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, and they built up from hologram, right?
Yes, like I said, it's a slow process, but it's a necessary one to see to track the continuous progress of it.
Yeah, Masashi, can you pull up hologram? Because I think this would definitely be it, right? They've done hologram. Hologram is like the online. It's the YouTube show, right? So they have the YouTube show, and that's pretty successful. I mean, we would check the numbers.
This is what
600K. So there's a consistent audience watching this. Yes, very consistent audience watching this.
This was what got big because each on living, for example, 2.4 million.
And that's big. That's the other part of the Hololive fan base.
Right.
I mean, I like all this, like all the whole hologram stuff. I do like it.
Bro, Hololive movie coming soon. I don't know if it's going to be that EN focus one, but I can see it. Hololive movie coming soon. Maybe start in Japan. That would be safer,
That
but
would
they want to expand, right? They want to expand.
I mean, this is EN.
Yeah, and it's EN on top of that. Yeah. Select theaters in LA, probably.
I mean, I would go.
By the way, these are just my theories. I don't have any information to
I mean,
it sounds like a good ass theory though, don't it? Hey, I want my cut if that shit happened. If they didn't write that shit up first.
These are always things that are there. I would assume that they think about.
Yeah, I would assume that too.
yeah, this was basically shown on Anime NYC. So
Anime New York City. Damn, that's absolutely a huge play. Dude, you don't show this off in New York City for the weebs. Like, remember when we're talking about like VTubing as a subgenre? If they did it there, where all the weebs are, oh man, that's whatever it is they're planning. It has to be absolutely huge.
They're constantly expanding in different ways from creating, they made their own small anime whatever on their own channel to making different games, sponsoring different games. Their new Hololive card game coming out, Hololive app.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna compete on that.
Yeah, Hollow Earth still waiting to come.
Yeah, their own video game. Yeah. So I'm just
all of that.
I'm interested to see how this also trickles down into like the indie scene. There's got to be more doors open, of course, to the idea of VTubing, if not other corporations already. When a little rabbit, a PNG rabbit, said something about it, like a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A VTube model. I don't think they were laughing at him back then, but hey, that guy, he might have had something. What are y'all thinking? Because the numbers don't lie, bro. Hololive is very popular. Now, if indies get involved as well, what's stopping American companies from getting involved? Besides technology, but
yeah. I mean, technology has been evolving for like pretty quickly, actually. All the like the models, the concerts have been like improving each time.
1000%. They're constantly looking for ideas in which to evolve. I remember a long time ago, not even really a long time ago, like when I was like first getting into Hololive. I remember, like, as someone who's into business, right? I kept looking at all the different collaborations that they've done in order to grow the company, and honestly, I couldn't list them all. There's too many of them. There's too many of them. And at that point, I realized, like, wow, they really are trying to expand in the best way possible, in the right directions. Because, like, when I look at, because I remember this is like a page in my notes on my phone where I labeled Hololive official collaborations, and I just listed as many as I could find. And whether it had been like a collaboration with the whole airline, or with Marvel, Capcom, Uniqlo, Among Us, Overwatch, Xbox, 7-Eleven, Height, Crunchyroll, Umisi, Anime NYC, and it just keeps on going, with the baseball teams, with the Giants in Japan.
They keep collaborating.
Now, the Dodgers here in LA, and they just, the list goes on and on. Sonic, Tokyo Station, and multiple other like video games and other companies.
It's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Like, you even named off some of those. I didn't even know that they did like 7-Eleven. I was like, what?
Yeah, they did Taco. Well, they had like Gura in Taco Bell as well.
What? Nobody
You didn't
told
see
me
that
this,
commercial?
bro. I'm
You
the
didn't see that
biggest.
Taco Bell commercial?
Okay, well, hold on. For one, I don't watch ads. Okay, so no, I have not seen the
I
Taco Bell
thought.
commercial.
Can you look it up, Masashi, if you could find it?
Oh, I know free promo, not from Taco Bell. Hell no, I got to get the bag for that one, bro.
So,
All right.
Hey, oh no, put it in the Discord link down below. Join the Discord. Put the video in there, and I'll react to it. It's a commercial. We could put it in daily clips, I guess. Fuck it.
Right. It's like 7 seconds, bro. Like.
Oh, okay. Still join the Discord link down below. Okay. Let's try and wrap this up because we already been recording for an hour.
Nacho cheese sauce with straw.
Nacho cheese sauce.
Nacho cheese
Oh,
sauce
nacho
with drawing
fries.
something closer to the surface.
What?
I'm in danger.
Wait, what the hell? That's the ad.
I'm in danger.
That was on that was on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, that was at the Olympics in 2021.
Yeah, the Japan Olympics. Yeah.
Dude, I'm gobsmacked. Yeah, this is why we have the podcast, man. Because y'all showing me some shit like, I don't know everything. Masashi and Chaotic, they're the ones that are like, I'm just the in between guy. These two above. There's a reason why they're above me because they know this shit. I'm just here.
I
You're
mean,
learning with the audience.
Yeah, learning with the audience, exactly. We're all learning together. But yeah, that was I think that was a good pod. I do want to end it off a little bit more on like an indie question though. So throughout this entire video, we talked about the community. We talked about
Also, there is this.
What the hell? I didn't know. Bro, this has to be Photoshop.
It's not.
This is real.
It's not.
Real. From her actual stream.
Oh man, what? Dude, that's insane. But yeah, VTubers, they are absolutely amazing, right? Just seeing that was absolutely amazing. But of course, there's a danger, of course, when it comes to parasocialism. But there's a conversation within there about the company because, parasocialism gives money, right? The cartoon, the aesthetic, the joy. Of course, there's not everything bad. Parasocial is just a word, right? The things we attach to it is what makes it a good or a bad connotation. When it comes to parasocialism in general, Hololive has it on deck, but it's not just Hololive. It's also the indies that are creating the VTube culture as well. All of us participate in creating VTube culture. Now, with Hololive, the granddaddy of VTube culture, stepping into a major market, which is the US, and expanding to more of an English audience, we're going to see an influx of normies. We're going to see an influx of people that maybe like Hololive because they saw the Taco Bell thing, or they played a game, or they heard a song, right? The culture is going to shift and change due to such an influx. I mean, it happened already, right? I am here because I saw Neurosama, an AI VTuber, right? Other people are here because of Gargura and EN. Masashi has been here longer than all of us, where there was nothing but JP VTube, and now VTube is across the entire world. So I want to say, of course, it's up to us to try and shift the culture into something more positive, which is why we have the podcast. So if you guys did enjoy anything you heard, if you want to participate in the conversation, if anybody wants to do any collabs, please reach out to me on X or the Discord down below. I'm on X. I'm gonna call it X because at this point, how long has it been? 2 years, guys? Okay, it's X, bro.
I don't care. I'll still call it Twitter.
And that's what I love, man. And that's why the pod's here, bro. I think it's a great conversation to have because there's so many perspectives. There's the indie, there's the normie, there's the unicorn, there's the corporate, there's the everything. There's many perspectives. And as the niche grows bigger, because Hololive is expanding, as I said, there's going to be more people that come in and stuff may change if we're not prepared. So definitely, everyone should be prepared to try and explain things as easy as possible if you guys would like the niche to expand to more people, because the more it expands to more people, the better the product gets, usually, depending on if investors change. So
Right.
yeah, and that could be a possibility later on in the future, and that we would also have to prepare for as a community that enjoys the whole niche that is VTubing, right? So if the granddaddy goes down and it changes, that's not the end all be all, but that's definitely a large chunk that's going to change. But if you guys enjoyed, please hit the like button. Comment down below whatever topics you enjoyed the most. Join the Discord down below. Shout out to my wonderful co-host, Masashi Chaotic. If y'all have anything to say before we end.
No, I don't have much, you know.
Mhm.
You know, it's been a good podcast, you know, talking all about the corporate side of things, involving a little bit of the indie. Hopefully next time we get more into that. But yeah,
We definitely can. Yeah, and this is just the beginning. Masashi?
I mean, thanks for having me, and I hope that this not only becomes like just like a simple conversation of just we talk about Gura and stuff a little bit, but also getting to talk about more deep, even kind of deeper stuff, like not like not drama, but like going into smaller VTubers that we can like they could be like could have like a potential to grow and stuff. We can there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
we can go deeper.
We can go deeper on many topics. Pause.
All right.
All right, but yeah, and we will, right? This is just episode 1. Episode 2, we'll talk about, you know, in the comments, there's many varieties and many things we can talk about. I do plan on having normie guests, like people that I'm introducing into HoloLive and VTubing in general, right? First it's HoloLive because that's the granddad. And then I introduced them with like Bao, like boom, shameless plug. Check out my friend Chum watching Bow the Whale, because that was a hilarious video. And she said she'd be down to join the podcast too, right? So we have people that are actively joining the conversation, right? And of course, if anybody wants to join, this is the place to join. So yeah, check out Masashi's, you're going to be streaming, right? You got a debut coming up?
Yeah, but that's not going to be very soon. I'm still on the concept art phase, basically.
Wait, debut coming semi soon. Link in the description. Check out his Twitch. He streams. Chaotic, you got anything you want to plug?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one, man. Yeah, join the Discord, and thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.